All right, so I want you all to imagine that you're sitting on your couch, you're waiting for a friend to come over. Okay? You get bored, and you start texting your friend. Your friend responds a couple times, but doesn't reply to your last text. Then your friend doesn't show up. Your friend was distracted by your texts and got into an accident. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, during daylight hours, approximately 481,000 people use their cell phones while driving. This includes texting, talking, using apps like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and also includes taking pictures, whether of themselves or other things around them inside or outside their vehicle. Today I'll be talking about using cell phones while driving. By the end of my speech, you'll have learned valuable information that will allow you to be safer on the road and may save lives, including your own. So we're going to cover, is using a cell phone while driving dangerous? Would less distraction make a difference? And what are the consequences of using a cell phone while driving? Now that you know what we'll be talking about, let's start with the question, is using a cell phone while driving dangerous? So let's refer to some myths versus reality. Most people can multitask. That is a myth. Only about 2% of the population can actually multitask. It's okay to read texts while driving, but it's not okay to send them. This is also a myth. The reality is both are dangerous because you're taking your eyes off the road. Laws banning texting while driving reduce accidents. This is also a myth. The reality is that in those places that banned texting while driving, it actually increased accidents because people, they didn't stop texting. They just hid their phones lower in their lap. So there was more distance between the road and their phone, which caused more accidents. Now that you know some truths about distracted driving, let's answer the question, would less distraction make a difference? In a simulator study through the International Journal of Injury Control and Safety Promotion, 21 trials were conducted on each of town and highway scenarios. So let's start with the total number of crashes. Without texting, in town, there were only three crashes. Without texting on the highway, there was only one crash. Now, while texting in the town, there were 10 crashes. And while texting on the highway, there were 9 crashes. In this same simulation, we have an average percentage of time that their eyes were off the road. So without texting, in the town, their eyes were off the road 1.9% of the time. On the highway, 1.7% of the time. Now while texting, in the town, their eyes were off the road 25% of the time. On the highway, their eyes were off the road 31.8% of the time. Now that you know less distraction does make a difference, let's find out the consequences of using a cell phone while driving. Texting takes your eyes off the road for 5 seconds. But at 55 miles an hour, that's like driving the length of a football field blind. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in 2016 alone, 3,450 people were killed by distracted driving. 391,000 people were injured in 2015 by crashes involving distracted drivers. Now, teenagers are the largest age group reported as distracted at the time of fatal crashes. These are our siblings, our children, our grandchildren, and we need to lead by example. So now that you've heard my speech, how many of you will never use your phone while driving again? Now, if that's too much to ask, how many of you will at least put your cell phone on silent before driving to at least try and resist temptation? Thank you all for your time.